Hi, and good evening, everyone. My name is Albert, and this is Vlogs About Nothing. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your very busy evening to join me. I really do appreciate it. Tonight, I kind of want to ask two questions out loud, and let's just start with the first one. What is boba, right? And I think now that I ask it out loud, I may know what it is, but I forget the name. Tapioca balls. Anyways, and then also, why do all and or most good things in life, like, and I'm just gonna say, some bad habits, so bad, but they feel so good. You feel me? Like, sometimes doing bad things feels good, you know? And what do I mean by that? Well, I don't know. We're gonna get into that. But let's talk about those little things called boba balls. Link in the description below, because wouldn't you know, the sad side of the boba story is that they could be linked to cancer. So just as anything in life that is good, which could also potentially unalive you all in the same time, I'm just saying that unfortunately boba balls, it's speculative, and again, I'm just a dumb man talking to you now here from the comfort of my room. Shout out in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So what the hell do I know what I'm talking about? Literally nothing. I couldn't be more honest with you guys. All that I'm saying is that there are people who have brains, and like I don't know, are people that are smarter, do they literally have bigger brains, or do we all just kind of have like the same size brain? Anyways, I mean like the weight, you feel me? And yes, obviously, and is it like proportionate obviously to like height, but like is there a standard? So anyway, there is some allegations that the consumption of boba actually leads directly to a certain kind of cancer. And so anyways, now that we have that out of the way, I don't know what tapioca is. All right, if we're just being completely honest with everyone now, I know what tapioca is, like, because I know that it is a boba ball, but I don't know what tapioca is. Like, I'm assuming it comes from a plant or something, but that may have been something real stupid that I just said. I don't know. It potentially could have been maybe accurate, but I'm gonna go with the first one, you know, and assume that I'm not right at all, because again, I have no idea what I'm talking about when I ask myself what tapioca is. Again, anyways, so it's one of those things that if you check out that video and the link in the description, you'll get a more well-rounded out series of well-documented empirical sort of gathered data on those things we just talked about. But now let's sort of tie that in with how most things that are cool and or like they feel good are bad for you, you know? And I mean, one could argue that sex is one of those things, right? We're all grown-ups here, you know what I mean? And it's sort of like it definitely could be one of those things. And that's what I'm saying. Just because, like, I mean, why are you in the relationship still? Is it because you love your boo-boo, or, you know, is it just because you're afraid that if you let boo-boo go, you know, it might be not so easy, you know, having that sex or whatever? That's all that I'm saying, right? Is that, like, that's not a good motivation. Obviously, ideally in life, you want people to love each other, you feel me? And to, you know, do the chicky that way. And I'm a huge fan of that. It could include multiple people. It could include multiple sexes. You know, again, whatever your flavor is. I'm just saying that to most people, right, certain things can be bad, especially if you like overdo it or whatever, you feel me? And I guess what I wanted to talk about was like geek bars, okay? But then, like, I also understand that I'm a content creator. People watch these videos, you know, I can't just safely assume that I can get away with talking about something in the middle of a video on YouTube where I know if I'm not clear with my words or how I'm talking about this particular thing, you know, the algorithm is it's not playing around anymore, okay? You know, things you could have gotten away with just even a few years ago. Good luck to you, my friends. Again, if you've never made a video or attempted to, and you're not familiar with what's allowed and what's not allowed, then like I encourage you to familiarize yourself with that so that you can, be just as grumpy and hateful to everyone as I am, as it concerns just like the basic inability to perform basic actions on a device that should allow me to make my life easier. For example, I was spending, I literally spent like 45 minutes earlier trying to hook up a new printer. So again, shout out to all the dumbass dudes out there, and or just people, you feel me, like me out there, who live their lives just in this very way that I have described. Anyways, geek bars, all right? Like, and I want to make a whole video about geek bars, and I've talked about vaping here before on the channel, and we actually only have about 4 minutes, and so that's perfect. I mean, you figure we spent about 4 minutes on one topic, about a minute to open up, and now here we're going in on 6 minutes. And how I know all of these things, or more or less, is because I spend a good portion of all the time that I have free either sleeping or talking here to you guys. And the other part of that time is strictly dedicated and restricted to spending time with my family, my roommate, and my cats, and that's the way that it is right now. I can't wait for that family to get bigger in the future and stuff, And, okay, out of that sidebar, but, like, there are things in life. Like, okay, so we need to do another video on what exactly is in a geek bar and why they are questionable, and, in terms of, like, obviously, it is vaping, and vaping, is a decision that you cannot make until you're over the age of 20, until you're 21. You feel me? So that's an individual decision that people make. So far as my advice goes, obviously, no, stay away from all that type of stuff. And, this kind of content, when we talk about some of these things, is sensitive. I'm sure that there are people under that age, and who may feel a certain type of way. I'm telling you now, if there is anyone around 18 or so that watches this, even 19, you are going to feel completely different about your life than you do now, even just recognizing that, like, just in a few years, literally, right? I was thinking about this the other day. You completely turn into a new person. So, again, talk to you when you're older in that way, right? And it's just like, I mean it, so that people that are younger don't get the impression that I'm telling and or recommending and or even like thinking, again, time is not your friend, and it will come, and so just wait until you're able to make a decision that's based on informed principles and stuff that you have, you feel me, and then go with that. But I would definitely recommend not doing any of these things. But vaping is one of those industries that will inevitably maybe replace tobacco, which is strange because the tobacco industry has been a landmark industry so far as anyone with half a working brain knows, as it concerns the economic output that the capitalist exercise, it has successfully run. I mean, seriously, we're talking about fistfuls of money. We're talking about the systematic denial of its effects and or knowing about its potential and or its known now link to certain kinds of cancer and stuff again. So just saying that the tobacco industry in and of itself has been around in America since America's been around. And moreover, it's interesting to see that as the future goes on, you see it, right? Like, as the population, and it's interesting because while here in America, and we talk about this all day in a constructive manner, we don't need to get all silly with it, but it's noticeable. I mean, it needs to be talked about that, like, here in America, we are now currently experiencing record lows in traditional old school tobacco usage, right? Like, so here in America specifically, And specifically in the contiguous states, right? Because there are different statistics for like Alaska and Hawaii, both of which kind of reflect the opposite of what the mainland continent part of North America or United States of America is concerned. But like, people don't drink anymore. Young people aren't drinking. Young people aren't smoking cigarettes. That's just not what they're doing. They are vaping. You feel me? And the cannabis industry is alive and well. But it's interesting that, like, the tobacco industry, right, while it may not fade out and you may not be able to buy a pack of Salem 100 menthols in 10 years, you are more than likely definitely going to be able to buy some sort of vape product from one of those very companies that's now selling liquefied nicotine instead of what I guess could arguably be harder. I mean, floor trimmings and sawdust. I mean, I'm not really sure what they put in tobacco. And I mean, quick sidebar here again, I've actually had the fortune of visiting some tobacco plantations. Oh God, I hope that those were well, I mean, if it makes any difference, the plantations that I visited in that were of tobacco, they were all up north. All right, and so yeah, like, I just, as I was saying that, I'm kind of like, wait a second, weren't tobacco plantations places that formerly and or were, anyways, if it makes any difference, I hope that it does. All of the tobacco plantations that I've ever been to were in like North Carolina, just to give you guys kind of an example, or Kentucky, or you know, one of those places, Tennessee maybe. I'm not sure, but like definitely. Was Tennessee a part of the South? Oh God, I really need to brush up on my domestic history here. Who cares? I'm a socialist, you feel me? They're all monsters and they're all evil. Alright, it's time to get out of character. Hey, listen guys, I really appreciate y'all watching my show and listening to me sort of just talk about weird stuff, you know. Is it weird? Was that weird? What did we just talk about? I don't know, but I'm happy that we talked about whatever we talked about, you know, because otherwise I wouldn't be here talking to you about it. So happy to entertain you as always. And I mean that. Remember, this is me now. This isn't the guy that you just saw a couple minutes ago, right? This is me. And boy, is it fun to troll. Boy, is it fun to act and to be able to do this all for free, essentially, you know, in that, like, Jesus Christ, you know, that, like, YouTube doesn't charge. I do think that's a great idea for YouTube. You know, imagine that you had to pay like a nickel or a dime or something every time you uploaded a video, and Jesus Christ, I didn't just say that out loud, but I did, you know. And again, it's because even though I'm a socialist, there's like 2% part of me that is like this little monster too, right? That's like, make money, make money, make money. And then I'm sort of like hitting all these paywalls all the time in my life that I wouldn't be surprised if I walked down the street tomorrow and saw a porta potty that I had to pay to get into because nobody wants to fund public works so that they can install and employ people to maintain public facilities of which people go to relieve themselves, you know, because that's not something we prioritize. But Jesus Christ, if we slap a price tag on it, then maybe, just maybe, we can have it, you know. So anyways, I hope that's a real thing. I'm just saying, you know, there's countries out there, like, there's more than just a handful of countries out there that have gone this route, that have gone the way of not funding public works in a way that has opened private industry to supply all of these really cool looking porta potties outside near where lots of homeless people are, and well, they can't use them because they gotta pay to use them, and it sort of defeats the whole purpose of being able to use the bathroom. I mean, it's frustrating, but friendly reminder, you also can't buy anything at Starbucks, or you can't sit in the lobby of any Starbucks location without having bought something, and that is a corporate policy. It's not something that I decided, but it's definitely something that I bet, you know, Eric and Nicole are enforcing at their local Starbucks. I'm just saying, right? Anytime you give people tools to hate one another, they'll definitely use them. And that's unfortunate. People should be given tools to be nice and kind and able-bodied and or just capable of helping more than just themselves, right? I mean, ideally, you want to help out yourself, and then when you've helped out yourself, you can be so much more helpful to other people, right? That's kind of the idea, but you can't do that when people are literally, rooting on your downfall, in a way that's active, and the government is, it's more than just a theory, baby. Anyways, I bet you guys are doing really good, you feel me? And these conversations are always real nice. We just made a video. This is my second video today. Anytime I make these videos, I realize that this is what I love doing. Anytime I talk, anytime I'm given an opportunity to perform, I just forget about all of the things in life that make me sad, and I become something that I enjoy being around. You feel me? Like, I enjoy being around me. Like especially like when I'm like this. You feel me? Not to sound all, don't psycho-evaluate the kid behind the camera just because I'm expressing how I feel. Or if you do, good luck with that, because many people have tried, but I don't know where we stand on that. I do. Everything's cool. I'm just a weird guy. But yeah, so and everything's cool. I've been pretty busy. I've been doing a lot of things in my personal life now that I've gotten some energy back from being essentially bedridden for like 6 weeks. And it's nice getting around to doing some just cleaning. And in the middle of being sick, we inherited a bunch of eBay stock, and so that's something that I still haven't gone through, and I've tried a little bit, since we got it, but right before we got it, I got sick, and so, or right after we got it, I got sick, and so that hasn't been fun. It's also not fun to continue to talk about things that happened well over 30 days ago. I miss October. Like, I want to go back. I want to have my birthday in a healthy way. I don't want to be grumpy. I want to go to work and remember going to work. I want to remember Halloween. I mean, I know we weren't going to do anything, and we didn't do anything, but still, it'd be really nice. Because, no cap, I was effed up. And anyways, I was thinking about that the other day, because I still thought it was in early November, but it was Thanksgiving yesterday. and so I'm like, wow. And then I guess at the end of this weekend it'll be December. So yeah, I'll do a better job of keeping track of time there, I guess. And then I look at myself in the mirror and I've realized that, I haven't shaved my beard. I don't have to shave my beard. Now I can shave my beard, I guess is what I'm saying. Because in case you guys didn't know, I had not been shaving for work. And I know that's interesting because just in the summer I was shaving every day for work. And then just not even a month after my work was completed at my most favoriteest awesome place, most awesome summer job I ever had. After that job wrapped up, I had to grow out my beard, and so this year I've literally I've had to grow it out or I had to shave it. There's really not been any sort of tolerance with my facial hair this year. You hear yourself, Albert? You better do what you're told, dude. Anyways, now I feel a little more free, but I'm not, because, no cap, I applied for some roles that may or may not need me because of this beard, so who knows? Hopefully I put myself in a good position where I have to be looking like this so that I can continue justify looking like this, because it's keeping me warm, and honestly, I don't care. Honestly, this is what I'm saying. We're just talking about looks maxing. I'm trying to look like, the Hispanic middle-aged version of Santa. I hope that you guys have a really good night. All right, take care of yourselves. Bye.